Tenho que recomeçar, desculpem. Então, thank you. Good morning and good morning, and thank you for being here, for joining us at Ordem dos Engnheiros, or to follow us from home or from the office. Hope you all enjoy the workshop and consider it to be a good investment of your time. That's what is most important. Allow to start with a brief introduction of AlmaScience. We are a sustainable tech applied research organization focused on the development of smart and green solutions on paper and cellulose and other sustainable materials, targeting a wide range of applications from health and environmental diagnosis to food quality control, or within the scope of the workshop today, cost-effective connected packaging solutions that can be integrated into holistic track and trace systems for further engagement with partners, clients, consumers, and along the supply chain. As we are going to show you in the last part of the workshop, we do this based on a business-driven open innovation approach, which welcomes every new company and every new R&D partner that wishes to join our co-creation ecosystem, adding value to it. As it was the recent cases, for instance, of Superboc Group, NOS, Sensei Data, or Zor, and we hope will be the case of some of the other companies that are present here today. But let me take this opportunity to emphasize the importance of our associates in our setup and growth process. From Nova University and Nova School of Science and Technology, Raiz, and from Nova Portugal on the R&D side, supporting us with background knowledge, IP, and other research resources. And on the business side, the Municipality of Almada, Firmo, Clara Saúde, the Navigator Company, and INCM, with business-driven challenges and, of course, some funding. And speaking of INCM, and on the day of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the merger of already two centennial companies, the Portuguese Mint and the National Printing House, Nuno, Gonçalves, and Joyce Miranda are opening the workshop by sharing with us the UniQode, a comprehensive solution for track and trace and brand protection, already being used by several public and private customers in Portugal and abroad, showing us our INCM's motto, the tradition to innovate is not just words, but the true commitment with innovation and value creation. And then we are lucky to have Goneri Tuco from Digimark. Have I got that right? Yeah, thank you. The multinational company specialized, among other solutions, on brand integrity and protection, showing us how the Digimark brand integrity solution can help you to ensure that your products are real and how to get new insights from the supply chain, amongst other stuff. And after a well-established multinational company, we are very happy to be able to count with the presence of a startup, a Portuguese startup, and with the presence of Diogo Cunha from Wine Visible. And they are establishing themselves as a relevant player in the field of printed electronic displays, another important piece of the puzzle for a fully connected track and trace system. In last presentation, last but not the least, Yanni Engel, our business development VP, is going to share with you the vision of AlmaScience for the future of track and trace, that we call going beyond QR codes into paper and cellulose-based print, connect sensors and tags to monitor product condition and identity throughout the supply chain, from production to recycling. And so we hope that these complementary approaches may be of use for your companies, either in the short term, connecting with INCM, Digimark, or Invisible and applying them today, or just helping to ignite new ideas for possible future applications. And in that case, be sure to count on with AlmaScience as a partner along the road. Finally, one last word to thank Ordem dos Engnheiros, the Portuguese Engineers Professional Association, for hosting us today and further continue to foster high standards in such a critical area of knowledge. And now let's start. Nuno and Joyce, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you everyone. My name is Nuno Gonçalves. I'm presenting the UniQode, an innovative solution for track and trace and brand protection that we have in INCM. So a brief words about INCM. As Carlos already said some words, we have more than 100 years of history in mint production. 250 years as history as official printing office. INCM has always valued the security of people and products, and the motto is INCM, the value of security. So in terms of high security printing, we produce travel documents, tax stamps, bank cards, ID documents, authentication and brand protection stamps, just to mention a few of the products that INCM has, and that are the focus for the innovation in track and trace and brand protection. So just to start the motivation of our work, counterfeit and illegal trade is a big problem in world trade and particularly in European Union. A few facts: imports of counterfeits and pirated goods in European Union, it's more than 100 billion euros in 2019, which represents around almost 6% of total EU imports. Counterfeit of pirated goods and represents around 2.5% of all total world trade. So we can see that it's important, very important, to track and trace products and to have security elements for the transactions and for the trade. These are some of the most counterfeit areas and products like smartphones, pesticides and agrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, spirits and wine, recorded music, jewelry and watches, and so on and so forth. So the idea is to introduce the motivation for the UniQode. And briefly, UniQode is a patented technology by INCM that creates stamps, visual identities, and labels that create a bind between physical and clonable and digital elements. This is probably the most important characteristic and feature of the UniQode, is that UniQode links between physical world and digital world. The protection of the products cannot be only on the digital world, only on the physical world. So we need to link these two worlds, and of course, UniQode is the solution that links the digital elements with the physical elements. So we create unique identities for products, one object, one identity. It is easy, secure, and accurate to validate using smartphones, which are ubiquitous devices, and with no forensic analysis of stamps are needed. It is easy and cheap to print and suitable for large-scale production. So the UniQode is the outcome of an innovation project with University of Coimbra for the design of security elements able to be validated by mobile ubiquitous devices. So in terms of the main characteristics, it has several levels of security. It's security digital and physical level, as I said, completely configurable and adaptable to any product, stamp, or product. And of course, it can be read by using smartphones, which allow authorities and also citizens and consumers to track and trace the products, and authorities to check the validity and authenticity of the products. I will skip this slide. And mainly UniQode is built over three main bricks: printed graphic codes that can encode a message, and holographic encodes a unique and irreproducible message, so using holograms, and glitter inks that encodes a unique and irreproducible message as well. So these are the main elements of the UniQode, and the solutions can mix these elements and have the three of them, or maybe two of them, or even just one of them. But the idea is that we can mix these elements and build a solution on top of these bricks. We can add several digital layers of security and even more physical layers of security. So in terms of the first brick, the pixel-based graphic code, the code is built starting from a base image. We can start the code with a base image, which in bidimensional codes can be a matrix of black and white pixels. We encode color pixels by substituting the pattern of 3 by 3 pixels. This is a more technical information, but the idea is that we can build information and in bidimensional codes that starts from a base image. Not only these the squared matrix are as data matrix, or for instance as QR codes. This is an example of a dictionary. We can associate the pattern of pixels to alphanumeric letters. And here we encode and decode, we encode in the pipeline and also the decode pipeline. We show that how we can build an image that is encoding the message. This is some examples. We can also use, instead of pixels, we can also use icons. And icons are much more aesthetic, and they have bigger relation to the design, so they can be built in the design of the stamps. This is an example of, for instance, images that are using icons to encode information. And then we get to the second brick. The second brick are holograms. Holograms are very known security elements. For decades, everyone knows what are holograms and the use of holograms in several products. And holograms can have this particularity that they can be seen and identified by people. But usually persons cannot verify the integrity of the holograms. So we built a system that can validate the holograms. So we can validate the authenticity of the holograms. And when we validate the authenticity of the holograms, we can associate some unique information that is encoded in the holograms. We can associate this information with the unique information that is written in the message of the graphic code. So we can link these two elements. We can encode a unique identifier because each hologram is unique. We can register the unique elements of the hologram. We can, for instance, register the specific cut of the hologram, because when we produce holograms in the stamps, these holograms will vary from one stamp to the other stamp, or from one document to the other document. So we can mix these two elements, graphic code and holographic codes, in this validation that can be made offline with extremely high level of security and reliability. The offline validation of the stamps is also one very important characteristics of the UniQode, because we don't need to build expensive databases, or we don't need to have connection to an internet to validate the element, which is a very interesting information about the hologram. This is some image or a small video of the hologram. We can see that the hologram varies a lot. The image of the hologram varies a lot, and varies with the illumination conditions, with the camera condition, position, light sources, color position, and so on. And this is a very difficult security element to validate, and our solution is probably the most advanced solution in the world to validate holograms. and to not only identify one hologram against the other holograms. So instead, so we can validate the holograms in two, actually in three ways. Distinguish between hologram A and hologram B from one product to the other product. We can also check the integrity of the material, so we can see if the material is holographic or is a fake material. And we can also check the unique position of the hologram and unique characteristics of the hologram that, for instance, will distinguish between bottle 1 and bottle 2. So we can distinguish and we can use the holograms in three ways. The third brick is the mixture with glitter particles. We can mix glitter particles in the ink. We can print, and when we print with ink that is mixed with glitter particles, the glitters will produce a unique and irreproducible random pattern. And this pattern can be registered in the production line and then associated to the product. And then we can track and trace this pattern through all the life of the product, because we capture this pattern of the glitters, and then we associate to the product, and then we can validate it with a smartphone as well. And of course, with an offline smartphone, because we can encode this information that is in the pattern, we can encode this information in the message that is in the graphic code. So we have these geometrical features and physical features like brightness, orientation, and some other features, and smartphones can do it easily. So the idea is that this is a small animation to show how we can use, for instance, these glitter inks in the products. We can associate and we can read this glitter, the glitter inks, and then we can register, save this information. Of course, we do that not when the glitters are already in the bottle, for instance, but in the production line. And of course, a consumer in the store can, or an authority, of course, could read the glitters, extract the information from the glitters, and then it will search this information in the database. We can use in the database, or we can do this offline in the mobile phone, and then the integrity of the product is guaranteed or is checked. Just to sum up, we can use wallpaper holograms and ink with glitter particles to produce a unique pattern. The whole process is cheap and practical to reproduce, which gives the solution the security, needs no adaptation, and allows traceability, extremely high level of security and easiness in the validation. So it can be used in offline or online modes. Okay, so I will pass to Joyce.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nuno. And thank you very much for having us here. And thank you very much to comply with your mission, to innovate and to explore new technologies. For us, INCM, it's a privilege to understand what we can do better for our clients and for our mission in terms of the work we deliver to the citizens, to the state, to the goods, and also to the end consumer. My name is Joyce Miranda. I'm from the commercial perspective, let's say, in terms of anti-counterfeit solutions. And não, acho que precisa fazer isto.
aparecer aqui. Can you switch to the presentation because I never.
It's the same presentation, please. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
I used it.
Thanks. My mission here is to tell a little bit how we work, how we did the application of this technology in the market. Okay. Our focus usually tend to be the client pains. So we use an approach that tends to be tailor-made, custom-made to the client needs. What we try to do is to work from an issue to a predefined, determined outcome. Okay, and from our conversation with the clients, we understand that the main needs of the clients are three different priorities according to the maturity, according to the products, and according to their actual problems. The first problem is to make the product unique. It's important to start by saying that this bottle is not any bottle, is the bottle 1, 2, 3. And to do this, we need some kind of a technology to ensure that we can identify unequivocally, I don't know if that word exists, that product. And this is the first point, and this is the point that also helps to identify fake products and other kind of misleading information to the consumer. The second part of this path is to understand is to make the product to talk with us. Okay, it should be possible to interact with the product, or at least to know its way along the way. I'm not saying about temperature or control of other topics. We will address that later on. For now, with the UniQode, we are able to understand where it was made, how it was produced, in what factory, and production unit, and the path through the wholesaler to the retail until the end customer. And this is a privilege for most of the clients and for most of the industries. The third type of needs is the marketing purpose. Of course, when you do the previous ones, you are able to understand the power that you have when you know that this client has this bottle. Okay, and you can interact with this client in the unprecedented way. Okay, knowing that when did you open this bottle, how did you find the tasting, where did you buy it, and you can interact with that client in a way that most of the producers never did. Okay, because you have several supply chain, intense supply chain way. Okay. Sorry for my voice, it doesn't stay very well in terms of the microphone. But trust me, it's better in person, okay? So for the authentication, we tend to recommend a multi-factor validation because we are a mint company and we are a national printer. We are used to printing documents, and in the past already, also we made money, cash, notes actually. So we are very expertise in terms of security printing, and we use these features to produce innovative products. Nuno talked about a wine tag. This is another example in the same way. Usually you have a human verifiable element, then you have a destructive subject or not, depending on the client needs. And you are able to identify the unique product by this number, classic. No innovation here, and with the graphic code between below the eagle. Okay, and this is possible because you can use logical validation and cross validation of all these elements. Okay, to improve the fighting against counterfeiting, it's possible to make sure that this tag it's not able to be taken and put in another product. So when it's destructive, ultra destructive, you end up being having a solution that is not. It's more easy to counterfeit. Okay, these elements that we are addressing here usually are custom made to the client needs. So we can make a tag to textile purpose, to clothes. We can make to bottles. We can make to perfumes, to bags, to shoes. We can add this feature to to several industry types. In terms of traceability, this solution with the UniQode allows you to, when you identify a product, you can have a web platform for track and traceability, where you register how many tags you have here and how many tags you distribute to your supply chain, okay? Who got what tag, and from there you can also register all the interaction. We have solutions like this for tobacco tax stamp here in Portugal, and together with a European initiative, and we can do it in a smaller based here in Portugal for different proposals. Okay, all the information that we can add to this code is, once is identified, you can know exactly the story of that product, where it was produced, where it was bottled, and from there the way that the bottle will do in terms of the supply chain. The most interesting, the end purpose of this solution should be to enable the marketing offer, saying that the client can be an authority. You can have you can empower the consumer to confirm if this product is authentic. Okay, and this is not possible usually when you go to buy a sneaker or a sports shirt. You trust that that store is selling authentic material. The price should be the same, more or less, but at the end, you can stay with the doubt if it's original or not. You don't actually have 100% sure if it is authentic. So with this tool, you are able to check if it's true and to understand what you can do afterwards with it. Okay. The last point, of course, you know the client better. You know where they buy it, where the readings are being done. For instance, you can buy a shirt here and then get readings from Brazil, and you understand that there's a need or market or an interest in Brazil for some reason, and you can have alerts, because 5 minutes from now you cannot have a reading now and a reading in Japan. Okay, because it doesn't make sense. Something is strange on this situation. At least it would require an analysis. So going to the actually application in terms of the solution, we brought you two case studies. One, the client was concerned about the contrafaction on the bottle of wine, a famous bottle of wine. I won't say the name, but the price goes from 900 to 1,000 euro. Yeah, yeah, not that much. And they contact us in a fair where we presented UniQode, and we started talking about how we could help to solution its problem. Okay, and we designed completely a custom-made solution. Like Nuno was saying, we have a bottle with a stamp, a tag stamp like here. We have a bottle with an ultra-destructive material. We tested, and we had the investigation team helping us to find out this substrate. It's a PVC. It wasn't easy to find out. Okay, wasn't easy to find out. So it breaks. We have, of course, for the printers that are listening to us, we have kiss cut, a specific design of kiss cut that makes the paper easier to break in some parts. It's a small cut, invisible small cuts. And of course, we have some elements that human can verify. The glitter, it's also sexy, so it shines. Usually people like the glitter. We have an hologram, and we have lots of, you have a UniQode that allows us to travel into the digital world. And when you connect to the digital world, we go to the traceability portal. It's a web platform, easy to set up, that allows you to manage your profile and all the readings that you get related to this tag. To connect these both worlds, of course, there's an app. We have been making iOS and Android apps, and this proprietary algorithm implemented in an app that can do only the product validation or other things. Main advantage, benefits verified with this solution. Unprecedented label lifecycle control, as you can see, empowerment to the client and for the brand, a new communication channel for this brand in terms of the product walkthrough, and of course in terms of brand reputation, because when you sell when you want to put in the market a very specific product, you want to make sure that the customers are not misled in terms of the buying decision. Okay, and of course they also told the competitors, see, we're doing something different and we are using state-of-the-art technology. This was object of some press releases on launch. In terms of the second case study that we brought here, and I'm closing, the second case study, it's a company that produces sport material, and for you to understand a little bit how it works, the sport material has a royalty mechanism model. So I allow some factories to produce some quantity and rely on their trust to believe that they produce exactly that quantity, and they pay according to those agreements. Okay, if they produce more or less, we never know. Okay, so this happens for some brands, and they are already not our clients. And one of these perspectives that we make is to evolve our current clients to our new technologies. And this is what this example is about making sure that the business model evolves according to the business needs, and the product evolves to a state-of-the-art technology. This product will be launched in the next weeks. And certainly, I hope to see some press release announcing the advantages of this utilization. Okay, when we make a very specific, a more controlled process over the tags, one of the advantages that happens are royalties increase. Of course, time in operations reduce substantially because all the information is digitalized and centralized in the portal, and all the fiscal authorities have. And not only the end client, the fiscal authorities have specific tools to, in real time, validate if the product is authentic or not. Okay, so my message now for closing is keep up with this work. We appreciate to have different new technology to work for in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joyce. Thank you very much, Nuno, for this nice overview on this new technology. So we are trying to pick up on the schedule, but nevertheless, I will give the audience the opportunity to put some questions. If you have one or two questions, best question. You have it.
You gave an example of the focus. Do you have any type of approach with the Roboclass? Because we are now and the other guys that of course will make of this practice focus, because if you want for, because I cannot see that the authenticity of the bottle of water, nothing, just to drink.
To prove the authenticity of a bottle of water, what I need?
Just to understand, you are asking to ask what you need. What do you need additionally? If we have a partnership with LogoPass, this was just an example. Yeah, usually we tend to implement solutions where there are a business case justifying it. This is a very small value for the innovation, the complexity of this innovation. Moreover, we can não sei se queres completar.
Well, maybe the security is because the label is sticked in the bottle, in this case glass, and if someone tries to break or at least pick the label, he will destroy it. It will be destroyed, and then it's evident, it's temporary evidence. So it's evident that the bottle was compromised. Of course, in terms of plastics, we are not printing labels for plastics, or well, the labels that we do can of course be used in plastics. But I guess that your question is that if we could do some solution tailored for plastics.
Yes.
Yes, we probably don't have yet this solution, but yeah, why not? We can of course study this.
Because I believe that one of the things is the cost. I can pay for a bottle of good wine, and this does not matter, but for a bottle of
Oh,
yeah,
sorry for that.
yeah, of course, but that's why we need to have solutions that are very very cheap. So the stamp itself must be very cheap to be interesting to use as well in low cost products.
But just to complement, sorry, I'll be quick. This bottle already has an anti-counterfeit feature. If you notice, when it's open, you have this break-in. Okay, so it was adjusted to the need and to the product. Of course, if we say in the specific countries where the water is well, I was thinking on giving the example of fuel cost, but for now it's it's not very, yeah, okay. So in specific countries where the bottle of water is very expensive, it will be a solution to evaluate. Okay.
Okay, so we had one question from Joanna.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Two questions. One is the label that you are printing, you need to put in some object, or the label can be itself a stick. For example, I'm thinking in festival tickets where we have a lot of problems. So, and
sorry. Yes, of course, it can be a stick, and it can be only an image printed on something else. Okay, because we can generate the UniCodes and then distribute it according to some kind of procedure that is predefined. Okay, it's no issue. We can help you with that also.
Okay, we can think. And the second question is, what is your capacity to scale up the technology? Or well, if you already think.
We are already producing very different scales of solutions. We have the solution for tobacco stamps that are a million of stamps, okay, always producing, and we have the production for 50,000 stamps, 50,000 stamps for different products. I would say for now, the more important was to get the correct URL and put the technology in the market and start to find out if it works. Okay, then we understood that there's a multiplicity of segments of sectors where this can be applied, and we can adjust our capacity and our structure according to the customer needs. So we are not limited.
I will just complement with because one of the key factors that influences the price of the solution is the fact that for some of the use cases we need to have cameras on the production line, if we need cameras on the production line to acquire the unique elements of the glitter particles, for instance, or the unique elements of the hologram, this will increase the price of the solution. But it can be scaled up, and we could, for instance, license the technology to other productions or to other factories that could produce this technology and scale up for other sectors. But this is one of the key factors: is if we need or not. If we need or not cameras in the production, and this of course will define several layers or several levels of security. If we need, for instance, the security for tobacco packs is not, of course, the same security that we need for passports, or that we need for security documents, or that we need for bottles of expensive wines, or even in the wines we have several levels of security, of course. So this will define how we can scale up, but of course we can scale up the technology because it's not difficult to produce these as long as we have the correct technology, of course.
Just to complement, this is a completely digital product, the UniQode. So the capacity is the number of machines that we have. Okay, that's only, and we can buy it with service on the cloud, so it's easy to scale if we're talking about this technology only. Yeah.
Digital, but with a link with physical, yeah, of course, elements.
Okay, so thank you very much for the questions. We have more time then on coffee break, but also good for the ones that are attending online to have this discussion. So thank you very much for your presentation. So